consent. Yeah, that's not consent. All right. Well, I guess we'll start. This is
Okay.
episode 5 already, which feels
Wow.
crazy. I'm Victoria,
I'm Sarah.
and welcome to the pod.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Oh,
Love it. Here for it.
I think it's super good.
I mean, I enjoy it.
So, how was your week? What'd you do?
It was good. It was no, it was good. It was a good week. Last night, have you heard of Nate Bargatze? He's a comedian.
No.
Okay. I'm sorry that I have not shared him with you.
Okay,
So
it's fine.
you look him up, do yourself a favor. Everyone, do yourself a favor. I saw him last night live.
How do you spell it? Sorry.
Bargatze, I think.
Okay.
But he's very funny, but like more deadpan, like dry delivery, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
So saw him last night with Hannah and Josh, and then my roommate Kelsey, our friends Katie and Locke, and it was so funny. I almost cried when he came up to me. So I think this is a repeating trend.
Apparently, you're just very emotional now.
Hayes was like, I think it's just you like people on stage. I don't even think it's the person anymore. So like that might be true.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, it might be, but it was really funny. So that was exciting. I did I was exhausted yesterday. Like we got back at 10 o'clock, which isn't insanely late by any means. I talked on the phone for a little bit, passed out, full clothes on.
No. Ugh.
Lights on. And I was like, I know this is gonna happen. And then I woke up at 6:30 in the morning. I was like, God dang it.
Well, at least you slept the whole night, I guess.
I slept so well. So well. But
for me, like sometimes when I used to do that, I would wake up at like 3 in the morning and be like, well, I have to fully shower now.
I know you would think that.
Foul. Yeah. Like it's too.
Well, we stayed up one time like really late, I think, at school, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. You're like, all right, I'm gonna shower. I'm like, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah,
Just
I
go to
know.
bed. Can't do it.
Can't. Comment down below if you are a night shower. Religious night shower.
So you're a night shower.
Every night shower.
You can't get in bed unclean.
Yeah, because it's dirty, and then you sleep in your filth, and then you get in it the next time clean, but it's still dirty because you slept in it the night before. Dirty. Ugh. Ugh. Even if I didn't leave the house and did nothing, I still feel like I need.
I think you would feel that way as well.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, I think I went to this place. Hayes and I went to this place, which she was on like the Food Network for some Ben and Jerry's thing.
Oh, Ruby. Okay.
And they give you like a flight of ice cream.
So we need to go there.
It was like $6 or $8. I can't remember. Was it expensive?
That's cheap.
For like 6 pretty good scoops of ice cream. And then I got a cookie.
Well, yeah, duh.
I was so happy. It was so good.
That sounds so good. I'm jealous.
From this week. I think I told myself I was going to clean my room. I didn't. So that's on the agenda today. Yeah. I don't feel like it's going to happen.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I know I can do it. It's just not going to happen. Okay.
I know I can. I'm refusing.
Like I made my bed kind of, but there's like
stuff under it.
How was your week?
It was intense, man.
Oh gosh, no.
It really was. Just volleyball drama.
Oh no.
Girls, parents. Yeah.
Worst.
Had a nice altercation this week.
Physically?
No. Just verbal altercation.
No.
Yeah. Without going into detail, verbal altercation, email sent, a lot of stress and dread over something that is like just Not everybody plays. And that's
Not everybody plays. Sometimes, guess what? Your kid isn't good.
right.
And you need to accept the fact of that, just live in that truth.
Right. That doesn't mean that they can't be on the team.
No. And it doesn't mean that we hate them.
No, I actually really like this girl.
Yeah. She's just so great.
Just the skill set isn't there yet. It could get better.
I'm working on it.
But, so that's how that went.
No.
Yeah. Other than that, it's been busy, but today we went to Walmart and then we came back and then I filmed another Halloween home decor haul, which I'm so excited about. And I have such cute stuff. And we put it up after I filmed that. So like the whole house is almost fully decorated and I'm obsessed with it.
I'm so excited.
So yeah, it's super cute. So I don't know whenever you come up here if you're gonna come over, but if you come over, I can show you everything.
Yeah. Oh, do you have an Aldi's?
We do. It's not like super close, but we do have one.
I did my grocery shopping there this week because I'm becoming poorer by the minute, and it was really good though.
Yeah.
Got that was just a big thing that happened on Monday. I just remembered.
Yeah, no, we have one, and like I kind of would like to go to Aldi's because everybody says Aldi's super great, and every time I've ever been near an Aldi's entrance, it smells like rotting milk.
Oh,
like
spoiled. That shouldn't happen.
Like spoiled milk, right? Like you could even be outside and like the doors automatically open. It's like spoiled milk smell. Right. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to shop there. Thanks.
How many Aldi's have you been to?
2.
And that both happened in both?
Both. Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah, I was disappointed. Aldi's.
Yeah.
Stuff together. Yeah. Well, I don't hate Aldi's, but that's kind of why it's not on my list, and it's not that close either. So.
Yeah. When they were first building them around where I live, every time without fail, when we passed it, Hannah goes, that's a German German building. And I'm like, yeah, because you've already told me 10 times. And I don't know if she was trying to be like get on my nerves because she knows how to push my buttons, or if she like genuinely didn't remember, because she'd be like, yeah, it's German. I'm like, okay.
I just like, is she like super into like German shops?
No, I mean, we're German. That's my dad's side of the family. We're German. So I don't know if she thought I'd be like, let's go,
Aldi's.
Okay. Thank you. Like the first time, informative. Love that. Thank you. Second time, second time on, I feel like was too much.
But yeah. It's odd. All right, Hannah. Sure.
All right, thanks, Anne.
But to be fair, I didn't know that Aldi's is German.
Yeah, it's German. And you have to put a quarter in, a quarter. In the
cart dispenser thing. I knew that.
Let it release, yes.
Yeah, I did know that. I kind of like that, but I also kind of hate that. I like that it gives the responsibility of the person then, like you either lose a quarter.
Yeah.
And don't put the cart back. Or you keep the quarter and you do the responsible thing.
Do the responsible thing. Exactly. Just be a good person. Put the cart back.
Yeah. It's not that hard.
We didn't in college. We stole the cart, but it's fine.
But to be fair, after the end of the year, we did then return it.
We did return. We would just take a cart from Giant, keep it in our apartment, use it for our recycling, or just sit in it. I feel like I have many pictures of someone just like
chilling in the cart.
Yeah, their hands were out like that over the cart.
Yeah, it was super convenient. We would steal one at the very beginning of the school year, walk it over to our building, and it would live.
The entire time I'm like, someone's gonna be like, hey, and I'm like, we gotta go. You can't have that.
It would just live in our kitchen, and that's where we'd put all of our trash and recycling, and then we'd wheel it down the hallway and put it in the chute and bring it back, and then at the end of the year returned. No big deal. Thanks so much, Giant.
I enjoyed that. Who's that? Was that your idea?
I think it might have been. It was either mine or Catelyn.
That makes sense. Probably you probably were like, oh, that'd be smart. And Catelyn's like, let's steal it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what happened. Like, I don't even want, I just want to steal it.
Nope, we're stealing it. What's your friend's faves? Our new segment. Do you have any?
Not as much as last week.
Okay.
Music. So I'm still watching Manifest. I still haven't read the book I talked about last time.
Okay.
It's probably gonna sit there for a bit. But so I recently have gotten really into Thundercat. He's a musician. Plays a beat. He's a musician, and maybe just like insert a picture of him right here. But there's this one song of his that I really like called Them Changes. It's a good time. Sick bass. And then also, this is an old song. I think I heard it on TikTok before. This is from 2016. It's called Gaims, Gaims, which just today when I was listening to it, because there's a line like girls just want to play games in it. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, he's just spelling games funny. It's by Kamauu. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Kamauu. Kamauu.
Kamauu. Hold on.
So that's like it.
And then the Spotify playlist Park Hangs.
Okay.
That's a good time.
Very nice.
Those are kind of my favorites music wise. I definitely like I've listened to those two songs now 100 times in the past couple of days. So it's going to change next week. I'm going to hate them.
For sure.
Yeah, but yeah. What about you?
I do actually have an answer this week. So we finally are like 2 episodes away from finishing the anime that we've been watching called Fruits Basket. And it's like 3 seasons. I don't know if they have it anywhere else but Crunchyroll, but that's where we've been watching it.
Sorry, what?
Crunchyroll. That's like the Netflix for animes.
Love that.
Or one of them.
Yeah.
So Tyler has an account, and so we've been watching this one specifically. So Fruits Baskets is like about this girl, and her mom and her dad both died kind of like
that for them.
Differently timed. But so she's kind of like orphaned in a sense, but she has her grandfather, and she was going to live with him, but then they were having work done on the house, and she's in high school, and so she was like, it's fine, I don't have anywhere to stay, I don't want to like put anybody out, so I'll just like camp out for a couple months. And so then then this one kid that she went to school with that she didn't like really know, he like runs into her kind of, there's more that goes into it, but essentially they end up figuring out that she's living in a tent, and he's like, why are you living in a tent? So he lives with his uncle and then his like cousin that they're not quite related like that, but kind of. And so she moves in with them, and then turns out, you find this out within the first episode, so I'm not ruining anything. They are Zodiac members. So if they hug somebody of the other gender, then they turn into their Zodiac, or if they get like particularly stressed, so like all the 12 Zodiac animals, like mouse or rat, snake, pig, cow, so there's 12 of them, and they're like linked by this curse. And then in the original one, I guess there was a cat Zodiac, but he like got tricked out of being a Zodiac member.
I'm so sorry.
I know. And so she was like, no, she's not the cat, but the cousin is the cat. And again, I'm not ruining anything. You find this out within like, I think the first 2 episodes. So, but as a kid, she was always told that narrative, and she was like, I always felt so bad for the cat. I told myself like I would be the cat Zodiac. And then she met the actual cat Zodiac, and she was like, I loved you. Like, that was what I wanted, and whatever. And so then it's about like their whole like learning about their family dynamic and like how they end up interacting. And so yeah, there's 3 seasons. That's kind of the story. There's drama, there's love, there's hilarity. It's good. It was actually a good shot. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're like 2 episodes to go, and then we're over that. So then I guess we'll move into, we have a bunch of stuff on Netflix to watch. They come out with new episodes of Lucifer, the last season, which I'm pumped about.
Nice.
They have a new season of Great British Baking Show.
Okay, I need to watch that.
I haven't watched it yet either, but it's up there.
Love that show so much.
I do too.
It makes me happy.
Me too. And it's like such a cozy show, so I'm excited for it to get like kind of cold and watch it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Okay, so that's my TV fave, but my music fave, I don't know why I've been dragging my feet, but I guess 2 days ago, 2 days ago, I started listening to the new Lil Nas X album, Montero.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's so many good songs. And like Industry Baby, I'm sure you've heard that one on TikTok, and Call Me By Your Name. I'm sure you've heard at least those two. Are you looking it up, or should I look it up?
I'm gonna download it right now. I feel like the new thing is for people to just put all their song titles in capitalized letters.
Okay, I was literally thinking that yesterday when I was looking at this. This is the one where he goes to hell and is like dancing with Satan, and people lost their shart.
Did they?
Yeah, and then he put like the devil like as a joke on a pair of Nike shoes in that, and Nike sued him, and he had to go to like court. It was hilarious. So then he made this song, and this whole video is like him in jail. But he has a bunch of different songs. I mean, like the whole album is pretty good. He has a one where he collabs with Meg Thee Stallion. He has one with Doja Cat. He has one with Miley Cyrus.
Miley?
Yeah. And honestly, like,
here?
all of them are really good. But yeah, I've been listening to that album a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
Maybe when I clean my room.
Yeah.
I'll just take some pre-workout and clean my room and listen to that.
Yeah, you'll just get real hype. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, those are my friends.
Nice.
Yeah. Comment your guys' down below if you have anything, or if you've listened to any of the things or watched any of the stuff that we mentioned. Let us know if it's also one of your faves.
So good. All right. You want to take us into the hot goss?
Yeah. So we have some good hot goss, and then we have some not so great hot goss.
Not so good. More just like I'm confused about what's happening in hot goss.
It's
serious, honestly.
So this one is less, well, it's still serious, but it's good serious. So I'm going to be referencing my notes. So I'm just going to read you the first line of this NBC News article. Britney Spears' father was suspended as her financial conservator for the first time in 13 years, a decision that comes amid serious allegations in court and in the press that he abused his power over her.
Yes. Thank you. We did it.
We did it. Free Britney. She's free. Yeah.
She's free. That's so good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, this just came out yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So I'm trying to find the thing in here and I can't find it, but it looks like they are mentioning something about how he allegedly put a recording device in her room to hear like what she was talking about when she was like alone. And essentially what they were saying is that they're going to be coming after him for a lot of stuff, like misusing money and stuff like that. And so even if there is legality to him using money or misusing money, but if it's technically legal and how this was all arranged, one of the things they can do is if they actually have some of that recording and have proof that she didn't know that it was there, the consent to recording law in California is you're not allowed to do that. So he could at least be put away or charged with something for that. If that is how it went down.
You know, in like TV shows or movies, they like try and get someone's confession. Someone like they have a wire. How do they do that?
So it's all state based. So depending on the state that you're in, you can do it, and depending on the state that you're in, you might not be able to. And so some of those things you can get recordings of, but it may not be admissible in court. But at the same time, depending on the state you're in, it might be legal, it might not be. So you could use it depending on the state. But yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but that just means that she is free. So I saw something else saying that she posted some like nude photos kind of on Instagram in like celebration of her being free. And then also that she made a statement somewhere saying that she is choosing not to do any more tours, at least for the near future.
Good for her. Take a little break. I feel like she's had a rough couple of years.
I agree. And she's engaged. I think she just wants to enjoy freedom and be able to like make her own life decisions. And she doesn't want to perform. Don't perform, girl.
Don't perform. Okay. She's got enough money. She can probably not perform. You know what I mean? Certainly, yes. Let's take a little break or break forever. That's okay.
Yeah. She doesn't have to perform.
We are giving you permission, Brittany. I feel like she needed to hear it from us.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Just us two.
Just me and you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
I'll text her.
Take a chill. It's okay.
Yeah.
You got this. So yeah, that's the good hot goss.
Good.
So what's next?
So I want to talk about Josh Duggar.
Quick content warning. Please skip to 35 minutes if you don't want to hear.
Do you know the show 19 Kids and Counting at all?
Yeah, I never watched it because even as like a child when that came out, I knew it was freaking weird. Weird. I have done a little bit of like light research into them like after the fact, but I don't know much at all.
Yeah, it's a little, I definitely watched it because I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Did I judge a little bit while watching? Yes.
Certainly.
And it's just like, that's like not how, like as a Christian watching that, I'm like, that's not how Christianity really is. All the rule, like you can't dance because it's gonna attract the opposite sex and like make them feel certain things. I'm like, you're just putting toxic thoughts into your children's heads. Stuff like that. So I was like, a little weird, but am I gonna watch it? 100%. So Josh Duggar, years ago, like it came out that he sexually assaulted his younger sisters when he was younger. That
I did know that.
Okay. And then his parents, they sent him to like some, instead of like going and getting help. Like I think maybe this is from my memory, so I don't know if this is true. I think it happened like definitely more than once. And it was brought to parents' attention. And then he was sent away to some camp, like some Christian camp.
Oh God, that's never a good
manual labor. I'm like, that's not helping the issue. Like he obviously, this is not normal and he has an issue. Let's nip it in the bud.
But this is like traumatic.
Yeah, but it was like, let's keep it hush hush. Then he ended up marrying this woman, Anna, you know, had some kids together, came out, he was cheating on her on Ashley Madison.
Oh, like that's dramatic.
Yes, that was a couple years ago. And I think at that point the family was kind of like, I don't know, that's when they lost their show, because he was in politically wherever he was living was like good Christian values, super Republican. Then he's cheating on his wife with like a porn star.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that woman was like, he physically and emotionally abused me during those times.
Great.
So I was like, really good. Okay. And then within the past year.
But hey, Christian values. Yeah. Continue.
Right. I'm like, it's just makes me so angry. Okay. So then he was charged a couple months ago with child pornography charges. Granted, he has 6 kids, all under the age of 11.
God,
and his wife is
no.
currently pregnant with their 7th child.
Oh my God.
So how disgusting. So that was, yeah, April 29th, 2021, he was arrested. But his wife is still with him,
What?
takes the children to see him.
No.
This is the part I have the main issue
No.
with. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I'm like, I will never, granted, I'm not married. I've never been married. I do think marriage is a covenant. Do I think there are areas in which divorce is okay? Yes. Abuse?
How? I mean, do we know that they weren't involved in some of what he had?
Oh, I don't think we know. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, if he had 6 of his own.
Oh, I thought you meant like, is the wife like, never mind. Yeah. No, we don't know. We don't know. And I did think about
Because I mean, that is
it's awful.
I mean, all of it is awful. If you're, I mean, I understand innocent until proven guilty, but it sounds like he was proven guilty and he was charged and arrested for it.
Mhm.
So, I don't think that it's like a phase.
No, this has been consistently going on throughout his life.
Right.
And the fact, like, my thing is like, honestly, like, also like, if you feel a need to get divorced, that's your decision. I'm not going to judge you for it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm like, I feel like in this, the way he was brought up, the way his wife Anna, because it was like brought up the same way, it's like kind of brainwashed into thinking you have to stick by your spouse no matter what.
It's
And
insanely
there are a lot of
brainwashed.
instances where you do stick by your spouse, but not when you have 6 children or pregnant with your 7th and your husband's been arrested for child pornography.
Right.
Yes.
And sexually abusing his sisters as
Yes.
children.
I'm like, and as a mother, you need to protect your children.
Yeah.
And not take them to go see your husband. And apparently, like, I watched some YouTube video, I can't remember who it was, but the girl who did it did a really good job. And apparently, like, she's going and visiting him, spending the night with him, like leaving the kids being watched by like a family member. And I'm like, how can you look at that person the same? And so the reason why I wanted to like talk about this, because recently, as of Gerald Faulkner, a special agent for Homeland Security, said the files on his computer were in the top 5 of the worst that I've ever had to examine.
God.
So his trial date was originally set for July 6th, rescheduled for November 30th. If convicted, he could receive up to 20 years in federal prison. But recently, like as of 2 days ago, where is it? The judge denies Josh Duggar's bid to dismiss child porn charges. And there's like a picture of him or a video of him and his wife walking out of the courtroom holding hands. She's like 100 years pregnant, smiling. And I'm like, this is so, it made me so mad.
I don't understand how it's legal to take children to see anybody with child abuse charges. Like, how is that legal for them to enter and visit? Do you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, that should be illegal in and of itself. I feel like that's child abuse to begin with, to just allow them to be in the presence of, like, that's why child abusers aren't allowed to live within a certain radius from a school, and yet you're allowed to bring them in to see them in jail.
Yeah, it's just so messed up. It makes me so.
I'm just fuming about that.
I think that's what it is. I'm just like, I can't ever imagine. I just want to get into her brain, and I'm not trying to judge her because I think she's honestly brainwashed.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's like somebody then needs to be like, honey.
Yeah.
Let us have a come to Jesus meeting. Like, we need to reevaluate this. Look at your 6 children in the face and tell me that their lives aren't more important than your piece of shart husband who's in jail for child porn.
Okay, I'm watching.
And you're putting them at all this risk? Oh my God.
It's awful. Like, I'm watching the I had it pulled up right now, and they're walking out both smiling, like, I'm like, what is going through your brain? So that recently happened. I was in work, and we have TVs in all the operatories, and I was walking by one, and I saw him, and I was like, ooh, what's going on? I like popped my head in real quick. I was like, I know what I'm going to talk about on Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. I don't know if
Wow.
there's, but that's just kind of an update on what's happening with him. But I'm like, everything has been done wrong
Yeah.
from the very beginning.
Oh my
And
God.
maybe, and I don't know how this, like in the psyche of someone's brain who's doing this, like if it can be fixed, if it can be monitored, but like maybe if they took action in the beginning,
I feel like,
not have happened, or it would have not been this extreme.
I mean, I feel like potentially, I don't know either. I mean, obviously we're not psychologists, but I feel like if when that originally started happening,
Yeah.
if he had actually been given legit treatment with
Yeah, and help for
trained professionals and rehabilitation, it could have not at least escalated this far, or maybe not have escalated at all. Maybe that could have been it. But because people are like ostrich, head in the sand, I don't want to acknowledge what's going on. Here we are, years
Yes,
later.
of course, you have a big family, you're on TV. It is something that's shameful, but it's also the reality of the situation. So it needs to be taken care of.
Well, not to mention the fact that, I mean, are we going to claim that their beliefs and their familial structure didn't incite some of this behavior?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
I could be wrong, but
he was curious, just boys being boys. I'm like, no, that's not what.
That statement right there is, that should have been in the things we hate video. Jesus Christ.
Hate that. I'm like, no, boys will not be boys. Boys will be held to higher standards.
If we're going to claim that, then, you know, like, so you're telling me that we can't tame them. What? Raise people the same and make them be good people, regardless of any of the gender in it. Exactly. I don't understand. And I mean, just the whole, like, how extremely conservative, I think that breeds so much curiosity and toxicity around anything like that. And that immediately makes you like, who do I have attainable to be 24/7? I have all these urges, I have all these curiosities, and these are the
granted, which those are like normal things.
They are.
Like but then it's just shut down and
but because it's like brainwashed to be like, this is so incredibly sinful, it's immediately secretive, so then it has to be extra secretive, and like it's so jeez. Wow, man.
So that wasn't that sorry to put a real downer, but that's what's going on with him. And I was like, this needs to be talked about because it's so messed up.
That's insane.
And yeah, so that was like an update on what's going on with them. I'm surprised you didn't know about those allegations where he sexually assaulted his sisters.
I knew about that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I just didn't know.
You didn't know about the Madison, whatever.
Yeah. I didn't know about that. That's crazy. Wow.
I know.
That reminds me, this is like not super new, but it's just, I happened to see a video about the guy who was the subway guy.
Yeah.
What is his name? Do you remember it?
Jared.
Yeah. Have you know how all that played out, right?
Did he have counselor child porn too?
Yeah.
What's up with that? Can we just not?
Okay, yeah. Maybe if you guys are interested, let me know, and maybe I'll cover Jared randomly in the next video or somewhere soon.
I just don't.
It's not like hot goss because it's not new, but it's interesting. It's very similar kind of to the Josh Duggar saga.
Yeah, so we'll keep you updated on that, whatever happens. Obviously, I'm like, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
And he like I think he tried to be like, I don't know how that got on my computer. Like, lie better. If you're gonna lie better than I don't know how it got on there.
It's so weird. I've never clicked or searched for anything similar to this.
Right. And the password to like get into something was his password he used for everything.
Certainly.
Idiot.
Wow. Well, good. I hope he rots in jail. Piece of shark. I'm sure he gets heavily abused in jail based on his
Oh,
charges,
yeah.
which is good. He deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, kind of keeping with the saddish theme.
We'll go up later. We're gonna go up later.
It goes back uphill. We just gotta hit the valley first.
Just really go down in it.
Yeah. But to keep in this vein, so last week we mentioned the idea of having like a missing persons segment. So we came up with the missing friends segment.
Yes.
And this will kind of be like a weekly, if you guys like it, segment where we cover really small cases of people who are missing currently that don't get nearly the exposure that some cases do. Not saying that cases don't deserve a lot of coverage, but the issue is that all cases deserve the same amount of coverage.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there seems to be a preferred type of person who gets all of that coverage and a lot of white people. Yes.
The worst.
Yeah. They tend to get a lot of coverage, whereas people who are in minorities, like Indigenous people, Black people, anybody else really who aren't white, they don't get the coverage. So specifically today, we're going to talk about Mary Johnson. I don't have a lot of information. That's kind of like the thing with these is that they are small, and because they're small, there's not a lot of coverage, not a lot of information. However, this is a case I didn't know about before, and she's still missing. So Mary Johnson was a 40-year-old Indigenous woman who was member of the Washington Tulalip tribe, so Washington State.
Okay.
And so when she grew up, she had 3 sisters, and they all grew up in and out of foster care. And Mary was described as spunky, lovable, a jokester. She was a good person to be around. She made you laugh when you were sad. She gave you love and hugs. She was nice all around to everybody and strangers on the streets. That's what one of her sisters said about her. So she went missing on November 25th, 2020. So almost a year ago, right? Actually,
that's recent.
It is recent. So November 25th, 2020, she was on her way to visit a friend about 30 miles northeast of the reservation where she lived. And she never made it to her destination. She wasn't reported missing until December 9th. So quite a while after she went missing. She went missing on the 25th. So
do you know who reported her missing?
I don't know who reported.
Okay.
However, I do know that her sisters were only made aware of her disappearance after her husband told them she had been gone longer than usual. So I don't know if he told them and was like, hey, like, I'm looking for her. Have you seen her? Right.
Okay, gone longer than usual. Did she I feel like I'd be in contact all the time with if I was married to someone. Just like, hey.
Well, so here's something. Again, this is all kind of hard because it's speculation because there is not a lot of information, but maybe this was a friend that she visited kind of regularly. So maybe he was expecting her to go and be gone for like a couple hours because that's typical for them. And then when she was gone for like more than what he would have expected.
That makes sense. In my head, I'm like, she was gone for a couple of days, and he's like, she's been gone 5 days.
Right. Well, and maybe it was that way. I don't know. So the Tulalip police chief, Chris Sutter, said that the department knows of 3 people who saw her on Fire Trail Road the day that she disappeared. And the phone records searches indicate that she had been transported to Oso, Washington, which is about 30 miles northeast of the reservation. So I'm trying to figure out, because where she was originally headed was 30 miles northeast of the reservation. So was she headed for Oso or was she not? Like, is this different? I assume it's different because they're mentioning it. But that is interesting. Over the last year, they have worked really, really hard. Her sisters have to put up flyers and billboards. And last week, because of all of the hubbub about smaller cases due to the Gabby Petito case, the FBI put a $10,000 reward for information for this case.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. So the last quote I have is, it's like she just vanished. You think you would be able to get some leads, but after almost a year, it's just frustrating and heartbreaking. That was a quote from her sister to a news site. And at this point, they're asking for people to either contact the FBI or contact the Tulalip tribal police with any information. So I will link all of that information down below, and I'll link all of the like news articles and stuff. And I have put in pictures by this point too of what she looks like. And so if you see anybody, there is speculation from the family that maybe she was picked up and put into sex trafficking, which is very possible. Or I mean, there's the Highway of Tears. That's not that far away, potentially.
What's that?
That's just a massive, I'm surprised you haven't heard of that. It's, I have to look up the actual like distance, but it's more Canada area, if I'm correct. And it's like a highway along which like hundreds of Indigenous women have gone missing over the years.
Oh my gosh.
And they're all super underreported. There's speculation that it's like truckers and stuff like that, and not necessarily truckers are the issue, but like because it's highly trafficked, and it's so not highly trafficked, it's like under trafficked, but it's mostly trucks that are driving and transporting. Everything else on the sides is just like woodland and forest. It's really hard to search, and they haven't been able to find much information, but it just seems that a lot of missing people happen to be on that highway. And so I mean, it could be something connected to that. It might not be. Again, this is all speculation, but their family did specifically say that they're worried about human trafficking being the answer. They claim that they are prepared for the worst but hoping for the best, which after a year is probably a safe bet. But it's really sad.
Just that they have like absolutely no leads, no answer. That's so frustrating. I can't imagine that.
Right. I mean, they have 3 people who saw her. I don't know if that means that any of those people are suspects, or like they just saw her and so they can give a time frame of like when she was somewhere or where she was at some point, you know. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't sound like they have any leads moving forward.
It's hard.
Yeah. So if you happen to have any leads or any connections to Washington State or the Tulalip Tribal Police, or, you know, the Tulalip Reservation, definitely be on the lookout. Get people involved. I had seen some things that said that like this case specifically was getting some traction on TikTok. So maybe we can get the TikTokers on it. And
pro TikTok on this podcast.
Yes, very pro TikTok. But yeah, so that's that. So if you have any information about Mary Johnson, let the police know.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So that is our missing friend of the week. Let us know if you guys like that kind of
I like that
schedule, I guess, that segment, if that kind of fit your true crime needs for the podcast episode.
Yeah. And it's not so much like we like having enough info, because obviously there isn't enough, but just like getting the name out and more people knowing about it, I think it's very important too.
Yeah. Yep. Share this case with your friends and family. Like I said, I'll link everything that I used for a reference down below. And if you guys have anybody, share it all over the place.
All right.
Do you want to take the lead?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So our like main segment of today is going to be about the Enneagram, which I feel like some people might have very mixed feelings about. I feel like people are either very pro or very against. For those of you who don't know, it's like a personality test or type kind of thing. I find it very interesting. I made Victoria take it maybe 3 years ago. Victoria did astrology, which I thought was really fun. So I'm like, oh, I kind of want to do something that I know about. So it has been, I think it's like any personality test. Like, I think it can be just used as a tool. I think it's helpful in that aspect. I don't think you should base your whole personality around it. That can be a little much. It has actually helped me and my sister Hannah a lot with our relationship in the beginning when we first started learning about it, kind of understanding each other better, which was cool. So I'm going to just read basically so the Enneagram is a system of personality which describes people in terms of 9 types, each with their own motivations, fears, and internal dynamics. So it's an emotionally focused system of understanding people, honing in one's core emotional motivations and fears. So Victoria, I'm just going to read through all of them just because there are 9 of them. But
Yeah, just really quick.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of this until you had showed it to me. And I got like pretty into it after you showed me it. Like I was like, I made Tyler
really
take it. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of it kind of goes almost hand in hand with astrology. Like you could use those two as like kind of complementary things to kind of help you just internally get to know yourself a little bit better. And also, like you said, help other people get to know you and understand people a little better.
Just like the core of like, obviously, I think it's important to get to know someone organically and just like really know, because sometimes people are like, yeah, I'm this way because I'm an 8. I'm like, no, you're just an asshole. So, but it can be used like a tool if you want to maybe, understand someone better and like, why are you the way that you are?
Why are you the way that you are?
Like, I was really into it a couple years ago, did a lot of research on it because it definitely, for me, it hit home so much. And then like, not that I haven't been into it, but I just haven't been looking into it as much. And then this past week, looking into it again, I'm like, ooh, I felt that. So there's 9 types. They're divided among the heart types, the head types, and this is the first time I've heard it called the body types or the gut type. I'm also pulling all of this up on Truity, TRUITY.com. So the heart types of the Enneagram, they react with emotion first. They connect with people on an empathetic level and make sense of the world by understanding their feelings about it. So I'll go through type 2 is called the giver. 2s want to be liked and find ways that they can be helpful to others so that they can belong. This type fears being unlovable. Type 3 is the achiever, which I think my brother is, but he won't take the test because he's like, I don't want to be a number. And I'm like,
oh my God.
So 3s want to be successful and admired by people and are very conscious of their public image. Type 3s fear failure and not being seen as valuable by other people. And then type 4 is the individualist. 4s want to be unique and experience deep, authentic emotions. They fear they're flawed and overly focus on how different they are from other people. It's usually like artists and stuff.
Yeah, I think I want to say Tyler and my mom both got 4, but maybe it was just my mom and Tyler got 5.
I think Tyler got a 5.
Yeah.
Because I remember being like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the head types of the Enneagram. Head types react with analysis first. They connect with other people on an intellectual level, and they make sense of the world by understanding the systems and theories that underlie what they observe. And my number falls in this. So the 5, the investigator.
Yeah.
Understanding and knowledge and are more comfortable with data than other people. The biggest fear of the 5 is being overwhelmed by their own needs or the needs of other people. Type 6, which is what I am, is called the skeptic in this, or the loyalist, which I prefer. And when I read this for the first time, I was like, Sixes are preoccupied with security, seek safety, and like to be prepared for problems. For the type 6, the greatest fear is being unprepared and unable to defend themselves from danger. Which I was like, I just need to feel safe at all times and make sure I'm safe. Type 7 is the enthusiast, which is what Hannah and my mom are. Sevens want to have as much fun and adventure as possible and are easily bored. Type 7s fear experiencing emotional pain, especially sadness, and actively seek to avoid it by staying busy. So I was like,
Attacked.
And then, so you're in this one, Vic. The body or the gut types of the Enneagram. Body types react with instinctive gut feelings. They connect with other people based on their physical sense of comfort and make sense of the world by sensing their body's reaction to what is happening. The primary drive for this triad is to maintain their independence and limit control from outside influences. So type 8, the challenger. 8 see themselves as strong and powerful and seek to stand up for what they believe in. The greatest fear of type 8 is to be powerless, so they focus on controlling the environment. Type 9 is the peacemaker. 9s like to go with the flow and let people around them set the agenda. Type 9s fear pushing people away by prioritizing their own needs and tend to be passive. Type 1, the perfectionist, Vic. No, you're not like an annoying one. Ones place a lot of emphasis on following the rules and doing things correctly. Type 1s fear being imperfect and can be extremely strict with themselves and others. Do you feel that at all?
Yeah, I do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I definitely want, what were you going to say?
I feel like that really goes hand in hand with all of my Virgo placements as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel like from like, I don't know when it started, but definitely perfectionist. I feel like that fits.
Yeah. So I did want to talk, like, go deeper into each, like, you're 1, I'm a 6, so I want to go deeper into those, but I just want to give an overview of all of them first, so people can kind of understand it. So the deepest fears, one's fear being bad people, morally flawed or otherwise seen as imperfect. They cope with this fear by being rigidly disciplined and very hard on themselves. And then core motivation, it says, one strive to be good and honorable and to live a life with purpose. They seek the best and most correct ways to do things. And so I also heard in this other podcast, like, you can, obviously, you won't identify with every single thing and what is being said. And there's so many different places you can get this information for the Enneagram. But someone was saying in a podcast, like, if we're 1s, we're both the color blue, but there's so many different variations of the color blue. Like, you could be baby blue, navy blue, like all this stuff. So kind of like, I think it's important to keep that in mind with stuff like this. Like, you're not going to identify with every single thing.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, I feel like I do feel like I identified pretty well with 1. I don't feel like I'm like intensely rigid.
No, you're not at all.
But I mean, the showering nightly thing.
Sure.
There are some things that I feel very strongly about. And a lot of it is control based. So
I've realized within the past year, I'm like, I like control a lot more than I thought I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's out of my anxiety and like needing to control things like plans. I love to know my plans.
Yeah.
Need to know that.
Critical.
I'm like, I need to let room for other things to happen because then maybe something great will happen, you know?
Right.
But
yeah.
I will say, living with you, you had a lot of grace with me. And you were not like, because I was pretty messy and you were not. And you were just like, yeah, just keep it on your side. All good. it was not like, I was like, oh my God, I'm living with, like, I enjoy it.
I'm going to be suffocated.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that at all. So reading some of this stuff, I'm like, I don't feel that for Vic, but maybe like internally.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't actively like think, oh my God, I can't stand living with that.
I know.
I liked living with you and it didn't bother me. There are
Yeah.
just, there are definitely some things that I am much more of like it has to be exactly like this.
Mhm.
And I guess just cleanliness like that in that way doesn't, like clutter, I guess, doesn't bother me so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So these are some key personality traits of the one. Serious and straightforward during conversation, attuned to practicality and frugality.
Yeah. You don't like to spend a lot of money. Well,
Ugh.
I don't like to spend a lot of money. That's what it means.
Yeah, hardworking and diligent as employees, high internal standards, rigidity in plans and decisions, intense ability to concentrate, which you do have. I think you have this too, natural talent for teaching and instructing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So perfectionists are responsible and serious-minded pragmatists. Edit that out because I can't say that word.
Pragmatic.
Thank you. Pragmatics. They want to find purpose in their lives, in particular, the ability to improve the welfare of people and make things better for the greater good, which my dad is a 2, which is the caretaker. He's a strong wing 1, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And I think in his mind, sometimes he will say things and it'll be a little aggressive and like, he's very much cleanly.
Yeah.
And so, but something I realized, I'm like, in his mind, he's like, this is a great way to do this.
Yeah.
Like, it has worked so well for me. Why don't I share it with others? Maybe sometimes the delivery is a little aggressive, but that's like his way of
that's his way of giving care and like trying to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people might be like, oh, that's controlling. And it's like, in his mind, he's like, oh, this just worked out so well for me. Let me share it with you.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like I can apply that to my life in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you this is the best way in my mind to do it, which therefore might be the best way.
Probably the best way
to do it. You don't have to do it that way, but if you don't do it that way, it might be the wrong choice.
Exactly. Often ones have a clear life mission outlined in their mind. They work very hard behind the scenes to transform that powerful vision in reality. With a strong sense of duty and tenaciousness, quiet and controlled, they will follow through with their words and commitments, which I think is very accurate for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Within the structure of the Enneagram, ones belong to the body base triad, along with type 8 and 9. This triad focuses on the core emotion of anger, which type 1s cope with by designing their lives around order and control.
When I would get stressed, and I still do it, like if I stress, I just clean.
Yeah.
That's my go-to. Like, oh, I feel anxious, I'm stressed, I'm angry about something, I guess I'll clean everything.
I feel like that's a healthier release than probably some other people.
I agree. I could be a mass murderer. That's a worst way to handle.
Just straight up homicide.
Right. Not the best way to handle anger.
Cleaning,
organizing. Right.
Yeah.
Safe escape. Anyway. Yeah, I agree.
That's funny. Let's see. Okay. The perfectionist feels that if they have everything organized and under control, they will not have to worry about negative emotional experiences like anger and frustration. Because this type sees anger as wrong, they will repress it, which can ultimately lead to feelings of resentment, self-loathing, and regret. How'd you feel on that?
I don't know that I feel that anger is wrong.
I think when I was reading this, that's when I was like, I feel like we think anger is a emotion and you got to feel it sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely am more in that camp, but I think if I remember right, I have a 1v2.
You do. We're going to get into that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe that's where my shade of blue treads away a little.
Yes. Let's see. Type 1s often grow up in environments where there's a lot of chaos and uncertainty. Because of this, type 1s often feel responsible for holding everything together. As long as they can maintain order, the ones believe that everything will be good. Do you feel
Ooh,
that?
I feel that in my chest.
Right?
Ooh, yeah, I
You're
feel that
definitely
one.
like, and I heard someone say, you're definitely the mom of the group.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't choose to be the mom of the group, it chooses you. And I think
The
it
mom.
definitely is you. It's just like, you make me feel safe and like everything's going to be okay if it's there because you're going to fix it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that Calvin calls me mom as well. And
Yeah.
Tyler's friends used to call me mom. Yeah, mom of the friend group.
I remember this one time, I think you were out in the hall talking to your mom, and me and Caroline were making cookies or brownies or something.
Yes, I
And it
remember
started
this.
to burn, and we're like, what do we do? And we're like, we'll get fixed. She can fix it. She's in the hallway. We're like, hey, they're burning. And I think you're like, take them out of the oven. Like we like couldn't get it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
so,
mean, not to go in like deep childhood trauma, but being a child of divorce and having a flip-flopping schedule
Mhm.
all of the time and living out of a suitcase for years and years and years and years,
yeah,
and having it's not necessarily unstable, but there's no way to make it like super stable when you're doing
Yeah.
that from kindergarten on. I feel like that all fits very well.
yeah. Because ones believe they're always right, they can be overly critical of both themselves and others. Healthy ones learn to accept imperfection and accept themselves and others as they are rather than focus on how they should be. Yeah. And then, so we'll go into typically when you wing, you go like to either direction. So like ones will wing 9 or wing 2, and you can definitely do both at certain times in your life or go more towards one or the other. So you're definitely more of a wing 2. So let's see. So we'll do wing 9 first because you probably wing 9 as well. One wing 9 personalities have all the main characteristics of a type 1, but also resemble the type 9 in some ways. These ones are generally calmer than other type 1s, and they possess a strong sense of right and wrong. They're more open to new ideas and perspectives than a typical one. They may appear quieter and more withdrawn. Like type 9s, they seek peace and avoid conflict. One-wing 9s are drawn to careers in psychology, social work, journalism, and politics. And I thought, okay, I'll read yours now. One-wing 2. These ones are more focused on the livelihoods of other people and champion causes focused on meeting people's needs. They may appear overly controlling or critical of other people in effort to help them become the best version of themselves.
You're welcome.
Like, you're welcome. Like the type 2, this type wants to help and feel appreciated. I thought this was funny. One-wing 2s are drawn to careers in medicine, law, religion, and social justice, which you're like in sciencey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, I mean, like in high school, going to like the more wing 9, but also it's kind of all plays into it. I did a lot of like peer facilitating and actual like counseling. And so I did think about doing like psychology in some way.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of medicine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very fun. Yeah.
So we'll do next healthy versus unhealthy. Which you can range, of course. When they are healthy, one see an abundance of situations to improve and accept that dynamic chaos of life as it is. They have a strong sense of justice and fairness and are willing to tolerate and understand the diversity of humanity to further progress for the greater good. They achieve an ideal work-life balance and understand how to relax. We'll do when they were average. Maybe you fall into this.
Yeah, like, I think the work-life balance is a little rough right now, at least.
Yeah. When they are average, ones organize and compartmentalize all aspects of their lives, follow strict ideals, and are likely passionate about various social causes. This is evident in their professional or personal pursuits. Often rigid workaholics, perfectionists may suppress emotional needs in order to get things done.
I think that's more.
When they're unhealthy, they become out of touch with reality and focus on irrelevant factors. This can lead to self-affirming spiral of prejudice to the point of obsession and compulsion. They may discredit others' opinion and nitpick to keep their disoriented self-image in check. There's little room for error in this state, and perfectionists can fall into explosions of rage and fury when their principles are under attack.
Yikes. No, I don't think I'm in that boat.
I don't think so either. So these are some things, growth tips for Enneagram type 1s.
Yeah.
Be kinder to yourself. And there's I'm just going to read the main points because there's a lot, but recognize that not everyone is where you are. Be flexible and open to outside perspectives. Establish a healthy work-life balance. Lighten up was the last one. I feel like you're very light and fun.
I try.
But there's then some famous Enneagram type 1s. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Michelle Obama, Tina Fey, Hillary Clinton, Meryl, Emma Watson.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a good amount of kind of fun stuff from Instagram on your Enneagram coach, which Taylor actually works for them. So I'm going to go through career strengths and weaknesses, defense mechanisms, improving communication, navigating a new season, and how to love me well. Because we all need to be loved well.
We all need to be loved well.
So I'm going to read this off my phone. Type 1, career strength. You're organized, detailed, ethical, practical, wise, and highly responsible. You respect authority and hierarchies and will work for a company or leader you believe in. You truly enjoy a job well done and find joy in detailed work. You accomplish a great deal because of your work ethic, and your coworkers can always count on you. No matter your career choice, you will work to make the world around you better, more ideal place. I feel like that's very accurate for you.
I feel like I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go into weaknesses now.
Okay.
You can find it difficult to forget others' mistakes,
Accurate.
making it hard to delegate tasks because you fear they won't be done well. This can cause you to work overtime to meet your deadlines, which leads to resentment and burnout. You can also be too hard on yourself, focusing on your weaknesses and forgetting your strengths. Because of your relentless inner critic, it is painful when someone in authority over you criticizes or points out your mistakes. That's painful for me.
Yeah.
Let me just throw that out there.
Yeah.
So defense mechanisms. Your defense mechanism is reaction formation. When an unacceptable emotion arises, your wounded heart conceals it and brings it up opposite emotion to contradict it. So for example, you hide your envious emotions by celebrating and praising others for their abilities. Do you feel that?
I could see that. It's not something I think about often, but like if I find myself like, wow, I really want to look like that, like that person is so cool, or like I love what that person's wearing, like why do I not look like that?
Yeah.
Like I'll go out of my way to be like, oh my God, you're incredibly beautiful. Congratulations.
You're amazing. I love you so much.
Because I don't mean it. I don't want it to be like hating because I'm jealous. But I can celebrate you and still be like, I hate you because I'm jealous. But good for you for making me feel that way.
Yes. So it says improving communication with your spouse. I think this could be important for anybody. So if your spouse is a 1, realize your spouse is not searching for imperfections, mistakes assault them. Demonstrate empathy for how greatly they suffer under their inner critic. Don't commit a suicide by thinking your spouse is just judging you. Instead, see how they are trying to help with their advice. So provide constructive, purposeful, and thoughtful conversations to solve issues. Affirm and support your spouse based on facts, not just feelings. Inform your spouse of your needs without accusing or criticizing. Repeat what your spouse says, asking clarifying questions to verify you're on the same page, which I think that's just helpful for anyone.
Yeah, I feel like that's all just like good, healthy conversational tips.
Yeah, let's freaking do it.
Yeah.
So this is how to love me well. So how can I love you better, Victoria?
Okay.
Take your share of the responsibility so I don't end up with all the work. I'm very hard on myself, so reassure me often and tell me I'm doing good. Let me know when you value my advice. Be as fair and considerate as I am. First, listen to my concerns, then help me lighten up by having fun.
Yeah, I agree. Let me have a minute to vent. Like, you don't need to be like, no, don't come. Like, if somebody's like, well, we're just complaining, it's like, no, I let me complain for a minute and a half, and then we can move on. I just need to get it out.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel that with the tasks. Yeah, I feel that with the tasks.
Take some from me.
Yeah, because I will do them all, and then I'll resent everybody around me for not doing them.
So did you love group projects?
Oh yeah, that was an individual project. So much. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I feel like this is all pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate for me. Yeah. So that's what I have on the ones. I thought reading through it, I was like, and I think it's just like, even though I was like, oh, I don't know if she identifies with this, there are some things you're like, yes, I feel that. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And what, friends for 8 years?
Yeah. It's been a long time.
I think it's interesting to just kind of understand people's inner thing.
Yeah. I don't know if, like, I feel like some of these things would be more activated in like work areas. And like, we didn't have a lot of classes together, so it makes me wonder if like maybe some things are more situational, depending on the setting. So maybe some of those things you don't see because we were never in a right setting to be kind of doing stuff like that, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, because you're definitely like, I know you're a perfectionist with certain things, and like even before you took it, I'm like, I think Vic's a 1. I thought you were going to be a 1 or a 3 because I think you're definitely an achiever. Yeah, but you're also like, I don't know, super fun and goofy and carefree. I feel like. So I think people can be all the things.
Yeah. And like I said, I feel like it can be really situational, like depending on the mode I'm in. If I'm like serious work mode,
back out,
getting it done.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
On the reg with
a
little bit more loosey goosey, baby. Loosey goosey.
School of Rock?
School of Rock, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So good. All right, so I will go to type 6. It says on here the skeptic, which I definitely am, but I like calling it the loyalist because it makes me feel better about myself.
So just real quick, Sagittarius is considered the skeptic as well. But continue on. It's fine.
Okay. So 6s are defined by their desire for safety and security. They seek to anticipate and avoid risks and ally themselves with trustworthy authority figures and institutions. 6s are alert, vigilant, always thinking several steps ahead to anticipate and prepare for what's could go wrong. So I feel that at the deepest of my cores. Always go worst case scenario, let's prepare for it. And if not, great.
Right.
So deepest fear. 6s fear being unprepared and unable to defend themselves from danger. To cope with this fear, they attempt to be prepared for every possible turn of events. Core motivation. This type is motivated by their need for safety and security. They seek support and reassurance from others and are extremely loyal to people and groups that they trust.
I think that's accurate.
I feel like it's pretty accurate. Key personality traits of the type 6, strong identification with a social group, church, organized and well liked, good at managing finances. I am not, but we'll go. Excellent team player, belongs to a tight-knit group of friends, clear communicators. I'm very big on communication. It's my favorite thing.
You love communication. It's great.
Right?
Yeah.
Detail-oriented and precise. We'll see. Okay, so there are, which I think this is very interesting because 6s kind of afraid of everything. Or not afraid, but just like fear a lot. So there are phobic 6s and counterphobic 6s. So phobic 6s deliberately move away from the source of fear and tend to fly under the radar. They're open and expressive about their vulnerabilities and weaknesses so others can understand their situational line of thought. This is their prime defense mechanism to avoid being manipulated. And I definitely fall under the phobic 6s.
Yeah, I was going to say that feels like it fits.
Yeah. And then there's counterphobic, which it says, on the other hand, counterphobic possess a high-strung irrational fear of fear itself, which may translate to rule breaking. They try to keep up an image of independence on the surface, a tough exterior to shield their persistent internal uncertainty. So as a child, the 6 may have grown up in an unsafe environment, had overprotective guardians, or experienced a traumatic event that shaped their worldview. This type sees a world as a place of danger, or anything or anyone outside the 6's circle of trust is a potential threat. I feel like I had a great childhood. I just have always been afraid of things. So they're extremely logical types. They are constantly strategizing and planning for future events, how to protect themselves and their loved ones from harm. That's like my biggest thing. For some reason, I think I can keep all of my family and friends safe by like knowing I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So when you think of the stereotypical survivalist, you're most likely imagining someone with several Enneagram 6 characteristics. So the Enneagram 6 is part of the head-based triad, along with types 5 and 7. Each of these types deal with fear as a core emotion, but no type tackles fear as head-on as the 6 does. So we're going to tackle it. My mom growing up always would say, walk through your fears, Sarah. Just walk through your fears. Like, so many, Mom, I'm exhausted.
Don't you see this?
I'm walking so much. So I'm going to go with the wings now. So they wing either 5 or 7, which I think I go through both, but okay. So 6 wing 5 types are generally more independent and introverted than other 6s. They are less likely to rely and trust on others and prefer to keep to themselves. I think I'm definitely, for a long time, was a strong wing 5. Then wing 7 are more social and relaxed than other 6s. They are good at responding to people's needs and often enjoy being part of groups and organizations. I think that's more me now, but I think I definitely go.
I was going to say, I feel like that's more you now. I feel like you were more 5, like freshman year, like kind of flowing out of it, but still trying to like get your feet set.
Yeah, for sure. So core values, security, commitment, and a sense of connectedness with a group are what drive a 6's actions. They stand strong by the people in their lives who have earned a spot in their hearts. Seeking safety. Yeah, you're there. Seeking safety, 6s value those who can reassure them of their importance and connection. Trust is the most important value for 6s. With all the time they spend thinking of a flurry of hypocritical scenarios, knowing someone has their back is extraordinarily comforting. And I think that's honestly like how me and Hannah, not our fights, but like we used to get like, because my fears that were probably irrational to other people were very real to me.
Right.
And she wouldn't, not that she wouldn't get it, but she would be like, let's find a solution for you.
Right.
And like try and fix it. So it'd make me feel like my fears weren't real. She's like, this is simple. But then she's like, oh, these are actually like very real to you.
Right.
And I'm not trying to belittle. So I don't know. Once we kind of recognize that, we're like, oh, we got this. Like that definitely helped our relationship.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like people do view stuff very differently. And if you can't understand how people see life and you have to be really close to them, it can cause a lot of issues. So if you can have like something like this or whatever that kind of illustrates it in this way, it can be like kind of like a refresher, like, hey, oh, I didn't even.
Yeah, it was kind of like obviously, I think sometimes people can just understand that without this, of course.
Right, for sure.
For whatever reason, this is what helped us to get to that. So that was like a moment for us.
It's just kind of like how people use like love language.
Exactly.
Because some people do have really different views on that. And maybe we could talk about that. It's kind of a shorter thing.
I do love the love languages. I'm all about them.
We'll talk about that later.
Sixes seek peace with themselves, although it is initially proves to be a challenge. Through trial and error, sixes slowly build trust and confidence over time to effectively tackle any situation. So we'll do healthy versus unhealthy. Because when we're unhealthy, it's not good. They're healthy. Sixes are caring, generous, thoughtful team players who move colleagues and friends forward in a positive direction. They are valuable and hardworking employees who take pride in serving an organization. During times of stress, they know how to diffuse the nerves with finesse. Let's see, they develop secure attachment styles and easily trust others. Through patience and courage, sixes learn to accept their independence and express themselves freely in the world. At their best, they can let go of worries and focus on matters they can change in the present moment. When they're average, they're mentally cute yet highly skeptical and seek security in a group approval for their actions. They become aware of their shortcomings and their self-esteem may fluctuate from time to time. To prevent disappointment, sixes may mentally prepare themselves with a worst case scenario before carrying out a task. They have a tendency to overanalyze messages or information as it comes, which further fuels their anxiety and lead to mixed signals. Oh gosh.
That's average?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's okay, you're average.
This is funny. This confuses others, so the whole thing winds up being a vicious cycle of worry. That's kind of funny. Okay.
Oh my God.
So when we're unhealthy, they become extremely paranoid and suspicious of everything and everyone in their path. They are prone to developing anxiety due to the hypervigilance of any pending, real or imagined, sources of harm. So, oh my gosh, as a result, false memories may form and they may start to suspect others are trying to fool them.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
I know. Let's see. Yeah, sixes can develop overwhelming and debilitating anxiety from the illusion of constant danger. Definitely me in high school. This causes them to psychologically latch and cling onto a protective figure in their life in order to get through each day, which is also called codependency.
Yeah.
When exasperated and fed up, sixes will project their insecurities onto others and claim they've done something when it's all brewed up and imagined from the beginning. So don't think I'm that bad.
I don't think so either.
I think I definitely fluctuate, probably more healthy when I'm like working on myself, and then sometimes I get in my own head, you know?
Yeah, we all do.
We all do. So growth tips for Enneagram sixes: own your power. Be aware of how you create self-fulfilling prophecies. Work on building trust in your relationships and develop healthy habits to release anxiety, which I think is very important. Medication is wonderful, a wonderful thing.
Yes, 100%.
Oh yeah. So famous Enneagram type 6s. Mark Twain. He wrote a book, I think.
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. Prince Harry, Marilyn Monroe, Jennifer Aniston, Mindy Kaling, Julia Roberts, Ellen DeGeneres, which let me tell you, I have mixed feelings about her now.
Yeah, frick Ellen.
Dwight Schrute. That's funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that
That
with
makes
his fire escape.
Yeah. So let me go to career strengths. You are loyal, responsible, and like being part of a team. You move fast and are hardworking, which allows you to accomplish a lot in a day. You scan the horizon looking for future problems and suggesting ways to avoid them, which brings your team more stability and security. In times of uncertainty, you are prepared and act courageously. Your sense of humor and camaraderie lightens the mood and help others laugh more. Which, let me tell you, sometimes I'm like, Sarah, shut up. You gotta try and make a joke. Like, why are you quiet? I used to have the other problem where I wouldn't talk, but now sometimes it's like words on it.
Yeah, I feel
Uncomfortable
that.
situations. Let's see. So career weakness. You can struggle with blind loyalty to a person or organization, or you can rebel if you feel your loyalty isn't fully reciprocated.
Ooh.
Sometimes, let me tell you.
Don't test it.
Don't test it. When you feel overworked, you find it difficult to step back or delegate responsibilities. Because you prioritize loyalty, you may tough it out for too long and not know when to move on. You diminish your success because you feel too much attention is dangerous, and your inner committee is always telling you all the ways you could fail. Feel that. So your defense mechanism is projection. Your wounded heart unconsciously attributes your own unwanted and unacceptable thoughts, feelings, and motives onto others. For example, when you can't accept and acknowledge your own issues, you will see issues in others and believe that to be reality. This is good. Okay, so improving communication with your type 6 spouse. Be clear, direct, and specific on what you are thinking, feeling, and wanting to when giving feedback. This keeps your spouse from over speculating or catastrophizing in their mind what you might say. Yes. Yeah. Explain when you need some time to process your thoughts and feelings, then assure your spouse you will later discuss the issue and not flee from a hard conversation. I think that's good. Yeah. Reassure your spouse of your support, love, and faithfulness before and after, and even during a heavy conversation. Create a safe relational atmosphere, often by giving your spouse support, assurance, and loyalty. I think that's good because I think, at least for me, any conversation, if it's like a hard one or just like in general, in my head a lot, and yeah, definitely make things worse than they are.
Spiral.
Big old spiral. How to love me well. Be direct and straightforward to me. Listen to me carefully, and please don't judge me for my anxiety. Reassure me that everything will be okay and show me that you support me. Laugh and make jokes with me. Acknowledge that I'm loyal, responsible, and supportive. And then this one, I actually sent it to Taylor and I was like, if this is not the truth. Navigating new seasons. Type 6s operate primarily from your head and disconnected from your thoughts. So you look to an outside source to help you make decisions. Oof. Because you doubt your inner guidance, you think through all negative possibilities in any situation. To bring more balance in your life, try to stay present with your thought long enough to quiet your inner committee and move forward. So Taylor was telling me when she first got the job with them last summer or the summer before, she was like reading a lot of stuff and she's like, yeah, 6s don't like trust themselves. And I was like, I trust myself very much, thank you. and then like trust themselves to make decisions. And then like later I was doing something. I was like, oh, I should probably call my dad to make sure I did that right. And I was like,
I don't trust myself.
I was like, I realized I'm like, I don't like any big decision or literally any decision. I'm like, I don't know if this is right. So let me call someone and get their opinion, where I'm like, I'm perfectly capable of doing this. So that's something I've been working on the past year.
Yeah. And I think that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier with one of the, I can't remember what section it was, but it was know your power. Like you have the power to make those decisions.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You can do it. So yeah, that's kind of what I got on the Enneagram.
I really love that.
Okay, I'm so glad. I think it's super interesting and can be a really great tool. Just to like understand people better and like kind of why they are the way they are. Obviously get to know your friends and people and not just be like, you're a number and I know all about you because of that. But this I think can be a really cool tool. And just we're so different.
I feel like we were like really close friends for a long time before we did this.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I kind of knew some of these things, but like having this as a backup, I think it helps to like deepen the bond, if that makes sense, you know?
Oh yeah. And also I think it goes into like how can I understand but also like love this person the way they need to be loved.
Yeah.
I think that's really important and cool and just something that probably people don't talk about a ton.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people look at relationships and they're like, yeah, you know, we're great friends, or, you know, we love each other, but you can always progress and be better at loving one another.
Exactly. And I think that does go, love languages are pretty short. What are your top love languages?
Acts of service. And quality time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, my top words of affirmation. Just tell me you love me. That's all I need. Just tell me I'm doing a good job. And then I think acts of service.
Yeah. I think like if you look at least some of the one personality as well, like acts of service, like take some of my responsibilities.
Exactly. Take it off of me.
Right. Do them without me having to ask. And then I don't have to worry about whether or not you did it right because you did it without me knowing.
Yeah.
And two, then I don't have to do it.
Exactly. Win-win.
Yeah. And then what?
Oh, I was going to say receiving gifts was real high for me for a long time.
Really?
I love a good gift. I think it's more not the gift itself, but that someone like thought of me and be like, oh, they would like this.
Yeah.
I think, and that goes back to affirmation, being thought of, people liking me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't like a good gift?
I love a good gift, like just a candle, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, that's like, this is so, I mean, I know I can't be the only one who feels like this, but I made very hard, clear lines when we roomed together. I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, we're not doing gifts. Like, we're for anything. Like, do you remember any time you gave me a birthday present? No, never.
But I don't remember that conversation.
Because I was like, we're not going to do it.
Wait, do you not like getting gifts?
I like gifts and I like giving gifts, but I don't like having the responsibility to do it. It gives me stress.
Does it?
I hate it. It gives me a lot of like, if somebody gives me a gift for my birthday, I'm like, great, now I have to give you one for yours. And that's one more task I have to do. I don't like it at all. Like if I found something and I bought it and was just like, oh my God, yeah, I think you'd like this.
Yeah.
That's different than like obligatory gifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just know we like didn't do it and I didn't really think anything of it, but I don't remember that conversation.
I specifically remember talking to you and Caitlin and being like, I don't want to do gifts for anything. We're not doing it.
I was probably
Birthdays,
like,
Christmas. Yeah, that is exactly what you said. We were like, yeah, good. We're all poor. And it was like, yeah let's not.
And we'd usually like go to dinners. Well,
yeah,
it was in the summer, so we weren't together and we just go to dinner for mine or something.
Yeah, I remember going to the
Yeah.
place
You
next
guys
door.
like, I went to the bathroom and then you guys were hiding from me. I'm like, hey, they left me on my birthday. And they're like, you're like, we're right there. I'm like, I didn't see you.
That was
It was
quite funny. I forgot about that.
good stuff.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
Fun. That was a good episode, I feel like.
I'm happy about it.
Me too. Thanks for doing all the research, man.
Oh my gosh, of course. It was, yeah, love the website. And if anybody, we can link below the test to take if you haven't taken it and you're interested. Granted, a lot of questions, maybe 100. So you got to do it when you got some time / you're feeling it, because if not, it's a pain.
Yeah.
But like any other personality test, it's just like super interesting to see.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I don't know. Taking a poop. Don't know what to do. Take the quiz.
What? I thought you were comparing it to taking a poop, and I was like, that's not.
Take a poop. You're out. You're already chilling for like what, 15, 20 minutes. You could probably finish it in that time.
Apparently, people don't poop that long.
I mean, it depends on the poop, I feel like, but
I know, but I was like, sometimes Hannah will be in and out. I'm like, do you go to the bathroom? Anywho, this is another subject.
yeah, we'll end it on this.
I have a lot of thoughts about that, let me tell you.
All right, well, on that note, we'll go. If you don't already, you should follow us on Instagram, and you should subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and follow us on Spotify if you don't.
Yes.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you have any suggestions for anything you want us to talk about, please comment them down below or whatever. Yeah. I think we might do a spooky episode.
I'm so excited. You have so many good stories.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, and you're a good storyteller.
Thank you so much.
My mom brings that up about you a lot, which I think is funny.
Suze. She's the best.
I know.
But yeah, so I think we're gonna do a spooky episode. So if you guys have any ghost stories or anything, please comment them.
I love some ghost stories.
And we'll read some. Or you can DM us.
Did you hear that? I was like, I love some ghost stories. Didn't like that.
Yeah, you can email us as well at We're Gonna Be Friends Pod. I'll put it on the screen so you guys can email to that if you have ghost stories that you want to share and they're like a little longer. And maybe we'll read some in our next spooky episode.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, very fun. All right. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.
Thank
Make
you.
good choices.
Bye.
Bye.